Live from the WTXL studios, this is ABC 27's News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Abby Maurer.
And I'm Paulo Salazar.
Lincoln High School students have raised enough money to support a veteran in Leon County in the Honor Flight program.
That's right. WTXL ABC 27's Brittany Kleinpeter was at Lincoln High today and shows us how students are doing big things.
Honor Flight helps local communities by giving veterans the opportunity to visit military memorials. Now some area high school students are hoping to help local veterans as well. Tallahassee Honor Flight Vice Chairman Tom Naper wasn't expecting a check when he walked into the doors of Lincoln High School. Shortly after leading a discussion about the program that sends local veterans to Washington, D.C., students presented Napier with money to sponsor a veteran's trip.
Just to see his face and how happy he was, and that was just good. That was just great.
And we are so proud. They're going to send a veteran on the next flight sometime in April 2016. We enjoyed it so very much, and the students have already said they're going to do more.
Officials with Leon County Schools were also in attendance at the event, expressing plans to support the Honor Flight program in all Leon County schools for the upcoming year.
Well, it's actually an initiative we got from the FASC, which is the Florida Association of Student Councils, and it's a big initiative. It's happening all throughout the state, and we found out this past year, and we decided to bring it back to Tallahassee and make it a big initiative. I think it really does take us back to our core values. You know, I think honoring those who have served our country and without second thought have put their lives on the line is really important.
Leon and Childs High School have announced plans to sponsor a local veteran as well. Reporting in studio, Brittany Kleinpeter, WTXL, ABC 27, dedicated to you.
Honor Flight Tallahassee was established in 2012 and is completely funded by donations. Now, top priority is given to the most senior veterans, survivors of World War II, and any veteran with a terminal illness.
Tallahassee's Bethel AME Church is hosting more than 2,000 people this week for the Florida Annual Conference. This week's conference marks the 150th anniversary of the AME Church in the state of Florida, in the Panhandle, and in the capital city. To celebrate the occasion, church leaders marched from King Solomon Drive back to the church. They say the 150th anniversary is symbolic of the end of slavery in the state, allowing the church to be established.
We are 150 years old, and the doors of the church are still open. And the best yet to come.
The church's parade this morning started at Wanish Way. They chose the route because the feeder streets along it feature the names of historic leaders in the church, including the late residing elder King Solomon DuPont and the late presiding elder R.C. Snellings.
The city of Tallahassee is just about ready to unveil its new FAMUA project after several years in the making. Now today they gave a sneak peek of the enhancements in the area, showing off the roadway's designs and new amenities. Now here's a look at some of those improvements now. Now once it's all complete, the roundabout at Wanish Way and FAMUA will serve as a signature entrance onto FAMU. As they finish up the roundabout, Wanish Way will be closed between FAMUA and Eugenia Street. City leaders say that the wait will be worth it.
I think it's going to elevate our exposure and our student experience. So I'm thankful that the city and all of you invested in making sure this project came to fruition.
The grand opening of FAMUA will take place on October 15th, just in time for the Rattlers' homecoming festivities.
In your news across Florida, one type of fruit fly led Agriculture Commissioner Adam Putnam to declare a state of agricultural emergency in Miami-Dade County. According to Putnam, the oriental fruit fly is one of the world's most destructive pests and poses a significant threat to Florida's $123 billion agriculture industry and the 2 million jobs it supports. Now, since August 26th, when the first fruit fly was detected in Miami-Dade County, 158 others have been recorded. According to Department of Ag spokesman Aaron Keller, the fly lays eggs in fruit and vegetables, ultimately leading to the destruction of many popular foods.
Miami-Dade is one of the leaders in the tropical fruits, and so that's your guavas, that's your lychees, that's your mangoes, that's your dragon fruit, your bananas, etc. So in addition to those, your tomatoes and your vegetables and your regular agricultural commodities are also impacted by this fruit fly.
As part of eradication efforts, the state and the U.S. Department of Agriculture have quarantined an 85 square mile area around the core areas where detections have been made and treated a 1.5 square mile area around each fly detection with an insecticide designed to kill male flies. According to Commissioner Putnam, Miami-Dade County's ag industry is a $1.6 billion industry.
The Hamilton County Public School District is being recognized for their efforts in student health. Hamilton County is one of only 16 school districts to be designated as Florida Healthy School District this year. Now, they are being recognized for their commitment to meeting the health needs of students and staff by maximizing district resources and supporting academic achievement. Now, they were honored with the silver level of the award. Districts are encouraged to apply every year until they reach the gold level.
Felt pretty nice out today.
Absolutely gorgeous. And I know you went on a jog this morning. How did that go?
Pretty good. Yesterday, I think it felt a little bit better, but today just as nice too. Let's check in now with our chief meteorologist, Cass Sidovers, for our look outside today. Cass?
That's right. A difference could be felt in the air this morning as we start to lose the effects of that dry, cool air mass that visited us over the last half of the weekend. And that's the way it goes in the early phases of what some would consider the fall season. Not officially in fall yet. It starts on the 23rd. But you still get the idea that sometimes even late summer can feature some cool mornings. And it was cool. We did see 60s in most areas away from the coast and outside of the Tallahassee metro. As low as 63 in Bainbridge, 64 Thomasville. Other sampling of lows right around the mid and upper 60s. But Tallahassee International just 71, and some of that is because of extra moisture coming in, a little bit of extra cloudiness, so that did help to hold temperatures up a bit. The moisture is increasing, but not quite enough to really give us a huge concern for rain or storms. Maybe just an outside chance for a couple of isolated showers in the lower side of the southeastern Big Bend, Swanee River Valley, and maybe east of I-75. So Lake City near the I-75, I-10 junction, maybe a couple spotty areas of rain, but as they continue to move basically to the west, there's still enough dry air around us to keep us away from any sort of major rain concerns for the evening. Temperature still on the mild side, not too oppressive anywhere across the southeast or the southern plains, but some of the heat that is still around is going to have a greater influence across the eastern U.S., and that will also influence our temperature trends. So maybe a few more mornings in the 50s, that could be a little ways off. We'll tell you more about that in the Storm Team forecast.
All right, Cass, thank you for that. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos is aiming to launch a rocket from Florida. Bezos' Blue Origin space company will soon build rockets and launch them from Cape Canaveral Air Force Base. Now, Blue Origin is taking over a launch complex that was used about a decade ago. The company hopes to give space tours and ship NASA supplies into space in the future. Bezos hopes to launch his first rocket from Florida by 2021. Now, Blue Origin, which is based in Kent, Washington, is already testing space rockets in Texas.
If you can't get enough of the Kardashian-Jenner family, we have some good news for you. They are all coming to a smartphone near you. Kim Kardashian West, Khloe Kardashian, Kendall Jenner, and Kylie Jenner are each selling new apps. For $3 a month each, you get access to how they do makeup and their video diaries.
Well, it looks like Facebook may be looking into creating a new kind of virtual reality. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that the company is creating an app dedicated to immersive 360-degree videos. Now, the app would allow you to hold your smartphone at different angles to look at different areas of the video. It would be compatible with both iOS and Android. However, the Journal says that it's unclear when and if the app will ever launch.
That's the latest in your tech news. Tonight, up next in your health news, think you're helping out your health by drinking a diet soda? Think again. We'll show you why.
And a new report looks at 26 top fast food restaurants in the U.S. and rates them based on their use of meats with antibiotics. We'll share those results coming up. But first, connect with ABC 27 on our official app. Stay up to date with all the latest local news by downloading the app for free at the App Store and Google Play. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
The U.S. Preventive Services Task Force is recommending that many people in their 50s should take a low-dose aspirin to prevent heart disease and colon cancer. The new, more conservative recommendation is for adults aged 50 to 59 that have a 10% or greater risk of developing heart disease over the next 10 years, are not at an increased risk of bleeding, and have a life expectancy of at least 10 years. Aspirin reduces the clotting abilities of blood platelets, and depending on someone's medical history, could do more harm than good. So it's always best to talk to your doctor first before taking any new medicine.
Well, many of us drink diet sodas to help watch our weight, but new research shows that we might not be saving as many calories as we think. A new study says diet beverages may make you chow down on more unhealthy food than you realize. The Journal of the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics found that people who drink a lot of diet drinks tend to eat more and load up on high-calorie food like chips, cookies, and ice cream. Now, the researchers looked at the food and drink consumption of more than 22,000 adults for 2 days. Those who drank the diet drinks or coffee ate more unhealthy foods like those loaded with fat and sugar.
Some top U.S. restaurant chains are under fire over the use of antibiotics in their meat and poultry products. Of the 25 restaurant chains graded, only 2, Chipotle and Panera Bread, got A's for serving much of their meat from animals raised without regular use of antibiotics. The new report says most top chains have no publicly available policy to limit antibiotic use. Chick-fil-A received a solid B in the report, but many chains got failing grades, including Starbucks, Wendy's, Pizza Hut, Burger King, Domino's, and Taco Bell. Critics say the use of antibiotics in animals leads to bacteria becoming resistant to medicine.
I love those sandwiches from Panera Bread. They were good. That'll do it for your health news. Coming up a little later on your news at 5:30, college kids are just learning to be on their own and often can be prone to making mistakes, making them a potentially easy target for scammers. We'll share some of the most common ones coming up.
And we'll take a look at American consumer spending habits last month.
We've been catching up in some cases on rain totals over the weekend, but we haven't had much rain today. So back to a temporary dry streak perhaps across the region, and that's what we're facing currently in Madison County. A mix of sun and clouds earlier today. A little more cloud cover at time blocking the sun, but no rain produced from any of the clouds that are around right now. We'll discuss what's happening in the Gulf and how that may fuel future rain chances in just a moment.
Coming up tonight at 7, it's the Jimbo Fisher Call-In Show. Tune in to WTXL ABC 27 to hear Florida State head football coach Jimbo Fisher and the voice of the Seminoles, Gene Deckerhoff, discuss this Friday's upcoming game against Boston College. Again, the Jimbo Fisher Show is tonight at 7 o'clock here on WTXL ABC 27.
Coming off another win.
Another win, and hoping for another win this coming Friday. Away game, though, for us.
Yeah, first one outside of Doak, so we'll see how it goes in a different climate.
So if Mother Nature decides for it to rain on Friday, oh well. It's not here. The game's not here.
Yeah, if it's not here, then I guess it's not a big issue. And if you have those outdoor plans for that Friday night game, as of now, it looks halfway decent in terms of low rain potential. We'll tell you why in a bit. But first, focusing in on the tropics, we just recently passed what's considered the peak of tropical storm frequency and activity. That's right around September 10th, 11th. So far, we've had near average or just below average activity. We have had the parade of waves, which is normal for this portion of the North Atlantic. And there are a couple of very disorganized waves with minimal to mild potential for further development, especially the ones south of the Cape Verde Islands. Maybe the environment could improve a little bit and allow some modest strengthening of that system. But in the northern stretches of the Atlantic, a whole lot of nothing, some upper level systems riding through, but no potential there. In the Gulf and the Caribbean, a little more active, especially in the Straits and over into the southwestern Gulf. Neither of these are showing immediate potential potential for some development, but we have to keep in mind water temperatures in this region are still sufficiently warm, basically untapped with any kind of systems moving into these regions. We just haven't had any so far this season, but again, no major organization, very broad circulation, and some of this moisture is going to play a role in increasing our own rain chances in the next couple days. But the moisture sources are really elevated across this region in the Gulf, and that could certainly lead us to get in on some cloudy periods, not necessarily tropical action, but certainly some periods of reduced sunshine and maybe a few showers and storms, a couple of which may potentially impact the Steinhatchee area, but that's about all we're going to create when it comes to rain chances for this evening. But into the next couple days, that moisture in the Gulf will certainly impact us because we're not going to see a huge amount of this moisture surging way to the north. We have an opposing force of high pressure over the Atlantic. So if we do have that moisture creeping in, it's going to impact more of our southernmost areas. And there's really not going to be another source of cool air to replace the one that's in a departing phase. Plenty of warmth from the plains to the east, and that's going to continue to be the case through the end of this week. Also with the ongoing warmer spell and a slight nudging of upper level high pressure across the northern Gulf, those features are likely to keep the bulk of that moisture to the south of our area. So our rain chances do increase just modestly tomorrow into Thursday, and then with that minor ridging coming in for the end of the week, that's the feature that will kind of decrease the rain chances again, but not necessarily decreasing temperatures. Lots of the moisture staying to the south, maybe scraping coastal zones. East winds will continue around that broad low and around the high, which will be repositioned off the coast of North Carolina through tomorrow. So not a big change in the overall wind regime. The moisture does accumulate. The clouds will be around at times overnight, and both of those will help to hold up temperatures. But the rain distribution is still somewhat limited, and even in the forecast and focus, it takes until mid to late afternoon to get any kind of showers near the Bay region and into southeastern Georgia. So some of those could ride along that east flow and impact some of our interior areas along I-75 later tomorrow. But tonight, not looking at any major rain opportunities. Passing cloudiness, low of 71, so we're back above average when it comes to temperatures. And even highs, if we had more sunshine, we would get above those mid-80s, but I think the clouds may block that effort somewhat. Over the weekend, though, an increase in sunshine, only isolated showers, and of course, no cool air mass around. So 90s are going to come back and play a role in our temperature trends in the extended.
Not a bad 7-day forecast, though.
Not too shabby, not too damp, not too hot.
There you go. Nice in between.
There
Thank
you
you for
go.
that, Cass. We're going to take a quick break. We've got more on For Your Money news coming up. Stay with us. Welcome back, everyone. In your money news tonight, even though college kids don't have a ton of money, personal finance experts warn that they are still often the targets of scams. A common scheme is a tuition scam. Someone calls warning that your tuition is late and then you must pay immediately with a credit card over the phone. Well, don't do it. You must first call the school's financial office to check for yourself. And speaking of credit cards, watch out for the offers sent to college students. They often come loaded with big fees and high interest rates. Finally, if you are shopping for textbooks, make sure you use a reliable site. Crooks can set up fake sites for online textbooks. They offer great deals, but never deliver.
Americans spent more money last month, but only just by a little. The Census Bureau says U.S. retail sales rose 0.2% in August from July, but is a 2% hike from the same time last year. One reason for the jump, a hike in car sales. But purchases from building supplies and furniture were down. The data comes as the Federal Reserve begins its two-day meeting Wednesday. The Fed could raise its key interest rate for the first time in nearly a decade this week.
Well, James Bond fans, listen up. How would you like to be able to see the new movie in theaters as many times as you want? Well, that's what Regal Entertainment is offering with their ultimate ticket to James Bond. Now, the nation's largest theater chain is calling a limited edition $100 ticket. They're selling this to the upcoming Bond film Spectre. Now, the ticket is a collectible card made out of black anodized steel emblazoned with the octopus symbol of Spectre, which is the criminal syndicate featured in the film. The new James Bond flick will hit the silver screen on November 6th.
That's some do for your money news. Stay with us. We're back after the break.
Cass, give us a final look at our weather. What do we expect?
Some scattered clouds. We should be rain-free, except for maybe south of Taylor County, but rather quiet and mild tonight.
All right, we'll have more in our next half hour.
Yep.
Well, that does it for your news at 5:30, everyone.
Stick around. The news at 6 is up next.